Tweet, tweet. Hey there creators, Niamh here, and welcome to the next installment of the My Favorite Animals series. Yay! And this is the number 7 My Favorite Animal, which is the hummingbird. Ooh, I'm so excited, and obviously, as you can tell, I am a big fan of hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are actually kind of sentimental to me because a family friend of mine, who I consider to be my best friend, someone we called Grandpa Jim, he used to call me his little hummingbird, and that's because I am little. Fun fact, I am under 5 feet tall. I'm very short, and full of energy. So he used to call me his little hummingbird, and when he passed away, I got this hummingbird tattoo, and hummingbirds have just always had a special place in my heart. So that's why they have made the list here. And if you're new to this series, the My Favorite Animals is a series that I'm doing where I'm doing my top 10 favorite animals, starting with number 10, moving my way up to number 1, and this is obviously number 7. And what I'm doing is I'm selling the original pieces, and 30% of the cost of these, of the original pieces, will be donated to the World Wildlife Federation. So so if you're interested at all in any of these, check out the links below. And if you're interested in just a print or something on a t-shirt or or a mug or something, check out my Redbubble too, which is also down below. All right, well, let's get started on this. Hold up! Before we start, I forgot to say that this was done with pigment markers, the Winsor & Newton pigment markers. And if you've watched my other videos, you know that this is a new medium for me. So it's every piece right now with these with this medium has been a big experimentation. So yeah, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. So let's see how that went. Well, hey there creators. So this is the 4th installment of the My Favorite Animals series. For these, I'm going to do a piece of artwork for my top 10 favorite animals, starting at number 10. And today is my number 7 favorite animal, hummingbirds. So I will have each of these available on my Etsy shop, link in the description, and 30% of the costs of the paintings will be donated to the World Wildlife Federation. If you'd rather have a print, those are also available on my Redbubble, and again, the link is in the description. So let's learn about hummingbirds. There are 343, and I see different numbers for this, but that's about 340 is about where it's at, different species of hummingbirds. You heard that number correctly. What I am painting here is a spatula tail hummingbird, and one of my personal favorites because of the colors and the elaborate tail. I really love birds that have really strange and interesting tails. Hummingbirds are native to the Americas, North, South, and Central, but they are well loved throughout the world. Most hummingbirds reach 3.3 inches in length, and weight is about 0.07 and 0.7 ounces. Wow, tiny. They are named for the humming sound, which is produced by their wings during flight, and are well known for their rapidly fluttering wings. They can move their wings 70 times in a single second. Unlike other birds, they move their wings making a full circle. This type of flying requires a lot of energy, and that is the reason why hummingbirds eat a lot of food each day. speaking of their eating habits, hummingbirds are omnivores, and for protein, they do occasionally eat small insects and other bugs. But their primary source of food is nectar, which is high in carbohydrates or sugars. Nectar from flowers is the best source of sugar for hummingbirds, and they drink it 5 to 8 times each hour. It spends 30 to 60 seconds in feeding, and a single hummingbird usually visits 1,000 flowers per day. A group of hummingbirds is called a charm. Isn't that such a sweet name for them? I think so. However, as sweet as that name is for a group of them, they are anything but charming to each other. Hummingbirds are very territorial and quite aggressive with each other. They will bicker, jostle, fight, dive bomb, and squawk at each other, all for who gets the best nectar from the best flowers. The only time hummingbirds will entertain each other's company is for mating. Hummingbirds do not mate for life. They vocalize during the mating season, letting others in a charm know that they are ready to mate. After mating, which lasts a whole 4 seconds, suddenly I'm glad I'm not a hummingbird, the female leaves the male and starts preparing a nest for her eggs. Which brings us to baby hummingbirds, which, like most birds, are called chicks. Hummingbirds usually lay 2 eggs, and they are often laid a few days apart. However, she doesn't start the incubation process until both eggs are laid, so that they'll both hatch on the same day. The incubation process is usually about 16 to 18 days, a little longer if the weather is cool, and the mother will stay on the nest the entire time, keeping the eggs at a constant 96 degrees Fahrenheit. When the eggs hatch, the chicks are born with their eyes closed. Their length is only about 1 inch, and they weigh less than 1 gram. They are tiny. Because they are so tiny and have little to no feathers, they cannot regulate their body temperature and are completely dependent on the mother. The only time the mother will leave the nest during this time is to get nectar and bugs, which she will consume, and then, like most birds, will regurgitate it into the mouths of the chicks. Within a few days, the chicks will have doubled their birth weight, but they won't start looking like hummingbirds with fluffy feathers and a long beak until they are about 3 weeks old. At this point, it will take about another week of flight tests and further feeds from their mother before they flutter off and fly away from their mother forever, becoming completely independent. Unfortunately, the first year of life is the most dangerous for hummingbirds, and about half of them won't survive. Those that do survive the first year will have a lifespan of about 5 years in the wild, or about 10 years in a captivity. Which brings us to their predators. The biggest predator to hummingbirds are cats. Domestic house cats and feral cats love to catch these birds. If any of you have hummingbird feeders in your yards, make sure you hang them high at least 5 feet off the ground so that cats will have a harder time reaching them. Other birds, especially hawks, are major hummingbird predators. However, it's been shown that hummingbirds will actually egg on hawks. These fearless little birds will antagonize hawks, diving at them, pecking at them, etc., probably in an attempt to preemptively protect their nests. Hummingbird eggs and chicks present an easy target for many predators, including blue jays, crows, and snakes. One of the most surprising hummingbird predators is the praying mantis. These clever insects will strategically position themselves on flowers and are on an even playing field against the hummingbirds in regards to speed. They will snatch a feeding hummingbird, which will be a hearty meal for them, lasting several days. So let's talk about their endangered status and conservation efforts. Most hummingbird species are not endangered, thankfully, but about 10% of them are. The biggest threat to hummingbird populations is habitat loss due to global climate change. Changing temperatures due to the effects of climate change are affecting the migration patterns of these birds, causing different species to be spotted in locations well outside their normal range, where it may be harder for them to find food. Because of this, it's highly encouraged for those in the Americas to have hummingbird feeders on their property, so that they can refuel and get the food they need to survive. There are some conservation efforts underway, one notable one being those around the Honduran emerald hummingbirds, which have gone through sharp declines. Many thanks to efforts by, and bear with me on this one, La Asociación de Investigación para el Desarrollo Ecológico y Socioeconómico, ASIDA. And that's 3 years of high school Spanish helping me out there. The American Bird Conservancy, I apparently can't speak English either, or ABC, and other groups. All right, that is the information on hummingbirds. I hope you learned a lot. I did in my research. Now for some information on the art piece. I used Winsor & Newton pigment markers on a 9x12 inch piece of Yupo paper. For highlights at the end, I used white and gold acrylic paint. The next My Favorite Animal won't be until late January, as the rest of the videos this month will be holiday themed. I am also expecting to have my mom visit us during the holidays, and she's a crafty lady as well, so there may be a few videos made with her, which I will have up in January as well. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon. So let's see that finished piece. for watching, guys. That means the world to me. The next few videos are going to be pretty Christmas themed, pretty holiday themed. So yeah, stick around for those, and stick around for the next My Favorite Animal, number 6, and I can't wait to see how that's going to turn out. It'll probably be in January when that one comes out. Alright, so thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you later, creators. Bye!